All right, so here we go. Yes, I've played over 50 hours of Starfield since Bethesda kindly gave me access to the full version of the game roughly 2 weeks ago. And during that time, there's been a lot of speculation around the game. Now, in this video, I'm going to be putting some of your biggest worries to rest about Starfield, how it's running, key features, also very surprising features that have not made it into the launch of a previous Bethesda title. I think a lot of you will be very happy about this one. Now, all of these details are officially cleared by Bethesda to talk about because they have been only recently revealed to the public officially through various interviews and previews. It's all brand new, fresh info we're going over here in this video. Now, my own spoiler-free coverage and review in progress of Starfield will be going out on August 31st at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to look out for that. But also, let's get into this right now. And I wanted to start out with a very noteworthy headline. Let me tell you what, check it out right here. The Starfield Preview. It is incredible how little you've actually seen, and this is the exciting part about Starfield. Despite the gameplay clips, despite the big previews that we have been seeing going out, you have seen nothing yet, apparently, about Starfield, so that is great. But also, we have this one right here as well. It says, Starfield is Bethesda's least buggiest game to date, say sources. Now, we've heard that before, but Digital Foundry expanded upon this big time. They actually posted this one right here, and they have a clip that I'm going to play in just a moment. It says, Digital Foundry Direct Weekly 126 is now available on our supporter program, talking Starfield at Gamescom and technical issues with the capture, eyes on FSR 3 and AFMF, DLSS 3.5, PlayStation Portal, and more. And yes, we're actually in the same room together. Also, by the way, check out their Patreon, support them. I love those guys. But here is what they said publicly about Starfield. I think a lot of you will want to know this. Check it out.
So every time they've shown Starfield, obviously, there's been this thing where the footage doesn't look smooth. We've talked about this before. The trailers have a lot of jitter. And we're like, is there performance problems? The answer is no. That is a problem with the trailers. The actual game does not have these problems.
Yeah. And Todd noticed it as well.
Todd also noticed it, so.
Yeah, so at this point, you know, Starfield review code has gone out. It is under NDA, and it still will be under NDA by the time you watch this, but we received a special, I don't know, it's the equivalent of a papal dispensation.
That's right.
From Todd Howard.
We were given a waiver for this one issue.
Yeah, it basically doesn't look as jerky as it's looked in all of the footage so far. Certainly, well, we can certainly vouch for the intro mission because we've played that through, both of us, and we both concur that it doesn't really look, well, it is a capture of the game, right? But the motion isn't
It's
right
wrong.
in the capture.
Yeah, and a lot
It should be much smoother than that.
So yeah, again, there's been a lot of speculation, but I love listening to the people that have actually gone hands-on with the game, that are currently playing it. They have been officially cleared by Bethesda once again to talk about how Starfield is actually running. This is very good news. So if you're super worried about this game being jittery or having major problems, well, you can have a little bit of a sigh of relief. They're really pushing for this game to be more of a bug-free experience and to actually run really well when it releases. So that is great news. Now, also, there is a feature that is going to be making it into Starfield that was officially confirmed by Todd Howard himself. Now, this type of feature doesn't usually make it into Bethesda launches, so check it out right here. It goes on to say the following, that yes, Todd Howard confirms Starfield has new Game Plus. Great news, Starfield fans. Yeah, and let's scroll on down here and read a little bit more about it. It says Starfield is just a few weeks away. And ahead of its release, Bethesda's Todd Howard has confirmed that Starfield will have a new Game Plus mode. Of course, it's releasing very, very soon now. It says, in an interview with GQ, Howard confirmed that New Game Plus does exist in Starfield, noting it was another way to incentivize repeat playthroughs for players. Here's the quote. It says, Starfield delivers Bethesda Game Studios' most immersive role-playing since 2006 Oblivion. It gives you the flexibility and options to carve out a unique identity and even adds a unique and exciting twist on New Game Plus to incentivize continued and repeat play. Now, Howard did not go into detail as to what exactly will carry over, like weapons and in-game currency, should you complete Starfield once and pursue a New Game Plus save. But the confirmation of New Game Plus is noteworthy, as Bethesda Game Studios is not a studio known for adding such a feature in its game. So it sounds like it's pretty significant Again, it seems like it ties to the story. I'm kind of curious about how extensive this New Game Plus mode will actually be, considering that they're being kind of mum about exactly how it ties to the story. So yeah, a lot of curiosity around that one, but it's cool to see that they went that extra mile and they put New Game Plus in the game right out the gates, right at launch. Now also, we do have this one as well. Yes, Starfield does not have a level cap. Let's talk about it. This article right here from Screen Rant says this: according to Bethesda's head of publishing, Pete Hines, via Games Radar, Starfield may not have a set level cap. If there is one, Hines says no one at Bethesda has reached it. Theoretically, there is a soft cap once every skill has been acquired, but that may not stop players from continuing to gain levels. Prior to release, it's known that there are 5 skill trees: physical, social, combat, science, and tech, with each individual skill having ranks of increasing efficiency. Now, it goes on to say that Starfield will also let you become Constellation's best explorer. So what does this mean exactly? Now, it says, being able to acquire so many skills in such a wide variety of disciplines bodes well for players that want to see all Starfield has to offer. Now, with Starfield having over 1,000 planets to explore, it's practically guaranteed that each and every skill will be put to good use multiple times. Although a character will likely start out specializing in a few areas of the skill trees, Starfield seemingly having no level cap means they'll eventually be able to master every skill. Now, this may help keep the game fresh in its latter parts, where players are able to change their playstyle as old ones grow. Still, that's a great point there, but also it is noteworthy that in previous Bethesda titles, as you level up, things tend to slow down. So having the front end of your leveling experience with skills that you actually want and desire is probably going to be important. So specializing here, like previous other Bethesda games, might be important. Now let's go ahead and talk about what Forbes is saying about Starfield. Check it out. It says 20 new Starfield reveals from Bethesda's Pete Hines. So it says this right here. It says, so let's begin. There's an already famous quote about how the game doesn't really start until after the main quest, which some have taken as bad. Is it worth skipping? Until you get to his next line, which of course is from Pete Hines, that it's his favorite Bethesda main quest ever. Now that is saying something right there. Now Hines also shares a story about how he accidentally got sucked into space because he boarded an enemy ship and the pilot took off without him. So you can see how dynamic things can actually get. Now, loads of point of interest across the galaxy outside of the main settlements. He references a set of farms where people give resources to other planets. There are space stations, settlements, etc. A lot to explore here. Modders will also be able to create their own planets and quest lines. I'm telling you what, the modders are going to be incredible for this game. I just know it. Now, companions will get annoyed with you if you do bad things, even if they are best friend level companions, so be warned there. And New Game Plus is tied into the story itself, so we can't reveal much about it at this point. That has me extremely curious, let me tell you what. Now, he says he doesn't know if you can physically drive from planet to planet within a system, as normally you just teleport using your ship's drive. So yeah, that's an interesting one right there as well. And then we have further details right here. It goes on to say this: weapon mods, when combined with skills, provide for diverse play. He says he felt like Iron Man at one point, possibly referencing the video shown where you can hover around in your jetpack while shooting enemies on the ground. You can also get bounties on your head, but there are ways to clear those. And there is a museum in New Atlantis that explains the lore of the game, including the Colony War between UC and the Freestar Collective and what happened to Earth. I think this particular part of the game people are going to potentially love. Just like many Bethesda games before, you guys know that like Skyrim is just full of lore. They really do know how to build games that do a great job with tying story to characters, characters to environments. That's something I've talked about in previous videos, how important that is. And I'm really hoping that stays true here with Starfield as well. Now, furthermore, we have this one right here. The boost pack is a really fun and key part of the game. There are an enormous amount of creatures. He has no idea how many are in the game. I'm still not clear if these are all procedurally generated, like in No Man's Sky, or if Bethesda just designed a zillion creatures. Now, he says he put 160 hours into Starfield, and he isn't even close to 100%ing the game. No one seems to have any idea about how long it will take to do so. Bethesda has previously said that probably no one at all will find literally everything there is to find in the game. Once again, I referenced Skyrim. This is a Skyrim level size game. Bethesda have said previously that, yeah, this is one of their biggest endeavors by far. Now, they're going to be leaning into lots of mod support post-launch, the same kind of thing that kept a game like Skyrim live for a million years. This gets me super hyped and excited. I cannot wait. Now, there are mission boards that can ask you to build outposts on planets. He gave another mission board example where all he had to do was take 2 people from one planet to another, but he forgot about them, and 5 hours later realized they were still wandering around his ship. Now, there's going to be loads of Easter eggs in the game, and once again, there's no level cap, he thinks at least, so a very, very high one at worst. He says that PC players have said the performance there is smooth, so again, confirming what Digital Foundry has said previously, so that is excellent news. No word here about what's going on with Xbox Series X, but I'm not too worried about it right now at all, given what we are currently seeing from official previews of officially approved stuff. So, yes. Also, there was this recent Reddit post that I definitely want to talk about that highlights an interview from about 8 months ago with Todd Howard. This was a 3-hour-long interview that is currently kind of being skipped over, and there's a lot of controversy around certain features. It's kind of ridiculous right now because all of it is speculation. So check it out right here. It goes on to say this: all this fake outrage and hate over the game, Todd didn't lie. He already explained it to everyone last year. And here is the clip right here. And it comes from, once again, Lex Friedman. It was a 3-hour interview with Todd Howard about Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 6, and Fallout, and yes, of course, Starfield. Great interview. Check it out for yourself if you want to. But in this interview, Todd Howard kind of put to rest the concerns about how explorable planets are. He also talked about how they built these planets, that they have these huge, massive tile sets of terrain that they actually were able to piece together through their software and blend together and then wrap around a planet. So that's actually how it works. So yeah, this is a very, very big game. I think there's no worry about that. And all I gotta say is about speculation and worry, play the game for yourself when it finally releases. That's all I'm going to say for sure. And when you do play the game, Bethesda actually has some advice for you as well. In fact, check it out right here. It says Bethesda has one big piece of advice for Starfield players. And it goes on to say the following. It says, this is according to Bethesda's Pete Hines, who said it was his one piece of advice for anyone playing the game. Hines said, the activities in Starfield may seem like throwaway stuff, they can actually lead to some amazing places and some amazing stories. So besides Starfield's main quest and faction quest, it seems fans will also want to be sure to pursue the activities that they discover in the game if they want to get most out of their experience. In other words, don't rush this one. And you guys know how, like in Skyrim and even Fallout, they have some really particularly cool plot lines that can easily develop from some of these random encounters. So it seems like that could be the case with Starfield. Just take it in, enjoy it. But yeah, hopefully this puts to rest some of your worries about Starfield going forward. Some really great previews out there in the wild. But if you're tired of seeking out every little bit of information, I have you guys covered. And I am going to keep it spoiler free. So be sure to subscribe here, right here on the channel. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more. And I will see you all next time. Take care.